Welcome back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and on occasion, make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over part 2 to the story I did the other day about the guy who got with this girl, who definitely had plenty of problems, and so did he, and just a never-ending roller coaster of drama and turmoil, obviously with her staying out late at night, lying about when she worked, obviously suspicion of using certain illegal substances, and so on and so on, while he's playing the daddy role to her little kid. And again, he's only 23 and she's 25 at the time. And this left off where they had this big altercation, and she attacked him, and he got wasted, and all these other problems, and almost died. And we're going to continue on where they made up, so to speak, and then she promised she would never lie to him again or hide anything from him, and we're going to see where this continues. So it picks up where it says here, oh, and by the way, guys, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch the other video. I'll post a link in the description here so you can watch it and come back here and watch this. Starts off, it says, weeks go by, and things kind of back to normal for a while. The only odd thing was Kate was working more often than usual. She would cover for people more and pick up extra shifts randomly more often. Before, she only worked 4 days a week, but now she's working 6 to 7 days. If she's suddenly working all the time, what does that tell you? It means that she doesn't want to be around this guy. Or she's lying about working and still continuing on using the substances at her girlfriend's houses. Wake up, bro. It didn't become suspicious until I noticed that we had a fight on the night that she wasn't scheduled to work. She would immediately start getting ready and tell me that she texted her manager and asked if she could come in because she needed to get away from me. We only had one car, and this was before Uber was really everywhere, so I couldn't check out and see her if she was really working. But then one day my friend was over while Kate was at work, and we were just playing video games, and we decided we wanted to go out and get some Taco Bell. Neither of us had it in forever. We had the munchies and wanted to find one, so I pulled out my phone to look on Google Maps where the nearest Taco Bell was. That's when I noticed something that I'd never seen before. Oh boy, what could he possibly find on Google Maps? Kate and I shared a Google account on our Androids, and at the time, so it showed both of our search histories for locations we typed into Google Maps. And on that very day, she searched some random location in a nearby neighborhood where she left for work. My head began to spiral again, and I told my friend I no longer felt up to it and just wanted to go to bed, so he left a bit confused. I double-checked everything on my phone and even went on the computer and did some searches to see if there was any way I was misinterpreting it, and I was not. So here we go with the suspicious behavior, miss. I'm never going to lie to you again, never hide anything from you again. What did I tell you about junkies? How do you know they're lying? Their lips are moving. When Kate came home, I asked her if she really wanted to work that night. She got real defensive and started accusing me of being paranoid. And what do you expect after all what has happened? I then proceeded to show her Google Maps and how someone searched this location right then. She supposedly left for work, and it was not me. She proceeds to tell me the most epic line I've ever heard. She said, I never went there or searched it. Google is wrong. It's probably just a glitch. Newsflash, Google's never wrong. Maybe that could be an advertising slogan for the company. All right, now I finally admit to myself, I'm dating a liar again. Really, it took you this long to come to terms with this, bro? I grab a few things and get a motel in town. I spent many nights fighting with Kate over the phone and crying while watching cable TV. I was so angry that for the second time in a row, I'm dating someone who lies to me and keeps things from me. One of our fights got so heated we completely stopped talking for 2 days. Oh no, 2 whole days you didn't talk to your girl? The world was going to come to an end for 2 whole days, bro. Get out of there. End it. She's garbage. She's ruining your life. You almost ruined your life by that whole drinking episode when you passed out on the side of the road. You're lucky to get hit by a truck. He said, one of our fights gets so heated we completely stopped talking for 2 days. We didn't break up though, just stopped talking. Something inside me was desperately hoping that maybe she's not cheating. Sure, dude. But I'm super suspicious that she's cheating at this point, and I couldn't let go of it. After a couple of nights in the motel, I had convinced myself Kate wasn't cheating. She's just back into her obsession, and I need to go help her get out of it. Again, Captain Save Her, you know what? You can't fix her. You can't save her. Get this out of your head. I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how good her body is. I don't care all the sweet nothings she told you, which, by the way, they call them sweet nothings because they mean nothing. She's garbage. She's trash. She's going to ruin your life. Get out of there. and I needed to help her get out of it. I decided to reconcile with her. It was later at night, and I knew she'd be back home in a few hours, and I would meet her in the parking lot with some flowers or something. Oh, how sweet. You're going to show up with flowers like some sap on romantic comedies and romantic movies. Even though she's in the wrong and lying to you and all that, you're going to show up with flowers. That's going to make her lose even more respect for you and treat you like crap. I borrowed a friend's car, went to the shop, and bought some flowers and headed home. I parked in the parking lot and began to wait for Kate to come home. At around 2:45 in the morning, I see our car drive up to the parking lot, but I see someone in the passenger seat. It was Kate. She wasn't driving. Oh gee, who could she be with? She was sitting in the passenger seat. There was a man I didn't know driving my car. I just laid low and watched. When this random dude I didn't know parked my car, I wasn't ready for what happened next. Another man also gets out from the back seat. WTF is happening? Who are these people? The three of them walk into our apartment. Well, I'm sure you guys can see where this is going to go. And that whole, the man got out from the back seat, that's just foreshadowing. He'll soon be in her back seat soon enough. I pull out my phone and begin to write a text message to Kate. I try to act like I didn't know anything so that I could see what she would say. Maybe these were just platonic friends and she had nothing to hide. Are you out of your damn mind, bro? I text her and ask her if she was home yet and from work and I could come over and we could talk things out. Talk things out at 2:45 in the morning? I told her I wanted to apologize for yelling and saying some hurtful things during our fights. I didn't get any messages back for about 15 minutes and then I got a text from her saying, now listen to this. Her text is saying, I just got home, but I want some time alone. I do love you with all my heart. Let's talk tomorrow. My heart was beating out of my chest as I read the text. I banged my head on the steering wheel in rage while simultaneously crying. This guy needs some serious therapy. And he needs a kick in the ass from someone like me to tell him to pull his head out of his ass and get his life together and see what is going on. I get out of my car and decide to go inside and comfort her. When I go to my apartment, the door is locked. I forgot my keys because I only brought the keys from the friend's car. I heard loud music playing on the other side of the door. I tried knocking, but no one answered. I walk around the corner where I knew our living room window was, and the bedrooms were there. We were on the ground floor level. I peep in through our living room window, and I see no one. I was honestly hoping that I would see them. They're just smoking something casually. But if they weren't in the living room, then they were where the duck are they? Well, process of elimination. If they're not in the living room, they're obviously in the bedroom. I walk down a little further until I get to our bedroom window. The blinds were down, but I could see if I put my eyes on the edge of the window and look real close. When I looked in around the blinds, my heart sank into my stomach. I don't think they're playing Monopoly in there. I think they're playing another game. On the other side of the blinds, in our bed, my beautiful girlfriend, whose son I consider to be my own, was playing Twister, so to speak, by the two guys I saw her walk in with. I leaned up against the wall and slid down until I was sitting on the ground. My face fell into my hands. I sat there for 5 minutes, vaguely hearing what was going on through the window above me. I contemplated going in, destroying all three of them. I was so filled with rage. Now, as much as I was making fun of this guy for so many reasons in this video and the previous one, which in many ways is warranted, I do feel bad for this guy. But this guy is just so blind and naive and never really had any lessons in life about people and human nature. He's suffering. But that sucks. But is anybody surprised here? And this has probably been going on for a long time. I decided to get up and go back to my car. I start chain smoking cigarettes as all my memories of the relationship that I cherished so much began to dismantle my mind. Everything was a lie. Everything I thought about Kate that made me love her so much started to dissolve. You went into it you went into the relationship with high hopes and hoping she wasn't what she really was. You didn't see the obvious. And it's also possible you're attracted to a certain type of woman. Let's keep that in mind. A lot of guys end up always dating the same type of girl, and they're like, how do I always end up with these types? Because you're attracted to those types. Now, a lot of you read my story about when I was cheated on by my college ex-girlfriend, Lisa. When Lisa cheated on me, my rage let me do everything I can to get the gnarliest revenge I could. In that story, I went completely overboard and Lisa ended up extremely broken. Now, many years later, my first relationship after Lisa, I'm not the same position, but worse. This time, however, I decided not to get revenge on Kate as I did on Lisa. No, this time I'm going to destroy myself. But first, I'm going to destroy Kate. Well, this doesn't sound very good. And you're going to destroy yourself and another person because of this Let's think about this. This is why alcohol and mixing alcohol and other substances when you're that emotional is a very bad idea. I start the car and drive. I stop at a gas station that I know sells some basic hunting and fishing equipment 24 hours. They don't have any bang bangs. I gotta watch what I say here on YouTube. But they have some hunting and skinning knives. I buy the largest one of those I have and drive back to the motel, grab my keys to the apartment, and then head home to paint my bedroom walls with their blood. Dude, don't do this. For God's sakes, it's not worth it. When I get there, I slowly and quietly open the front door. I begin to creep down the hallway to our bedroom. I'm gripping that item tight, expecting one of the guys to maybe pop out. I inch up to my bedroom door. It opens, but the lights in the room are off, and I can't see anything inside. It's quiet. I don't hear anything. Sweat is dripping down my face, and I'm trying to control my shaking and breathing so no one hears me come in. Scared what I might see, I reach into the bedroom and flip the light switch on. When the light pops on, I just see Kate lying in bed butt naked and by herself. Was I hallucinating earlier or something, or did the guys just leave before I got back? Yeah, they left. They got done having a few rounds with your girl, and they left. That's what Chad and Tyrone do. They're not going to be laying there in the bed cuddling with her. She didn't wake up, so I take a look around the room. I see a condom wrapper on the nightstand next to her bed, which pretty much confirmed me what I saw, and now knew I wasn't hallucinating. Me and Kate never use condoms. Oh, that's a smart idea, man. She's the last person you want to get pregnant. When I take my first step into the bedroom, I hear the door of her son's room across the hall open. I turn around ready to do something to one of those guys that I saw earlier, but of course it was just Kate's son, my son. My first thoughts were, what is Kate's son doing here? Why didn't Kate take him to daycare or to her mom's house before she and some random dudes came over here to have playtime? Was the little kid there the entire time when she was at work? Or while she was getting double teamed across the hall? What the hell is wrong with her? See, she's garbage. She should not be raising this kid. This social services needs to be contacted. The kid should be living with the grandma or somebody else, but not her. She's a piece of garbage. I feel bad for this kid. This is probably the reason why he stuck around so much for this boy. But at the end of the day, his life is more important than this boy's because this boy's not his child. He looks up at me from his bedroom door. He says, "Daddy, you're back." And he rushes to hug my leg. I put my hand on his head and look at the knife in my other hand. I put the knife in my back pocket and I get on my knee and I tell my stepson, "I'm going away for a while. I just wanted to say bye-bye to you and Mom before I left." He then proceeds to give me the saddest face I've ever seen. I pick him up and take him back to bed, tuck him in, and tell him goodbye. I knew it would be the last time I'd see him, but I didn't want him to know he was about to never see me again. Aw, poor kid. I'm sure that was hard. And that kid was no doubt a very good kid. And there are lots of good kids out there that have complete pieces of shit for parents. And it's such a shame. And sadly, these kids turn into their parents one day. I mean, it really is a sad, vicious cycle. I hope, like hell, things work out for this kid. After that, I can't destroy his mother. He can't grow up without his mother. He doesn't deserve that, even if I think she deserves to have these things happen to her. Dude, don't throw away your life because of what happened. Don't destroy your memory because of that. It's not worth it. Life will punish her, trust me. However, I still wanted to die. I walk down the apartment and start walking down the street, just sobbing my eyes out. I sit down at the bus station, pull out the item, and begin cutting my wrists. I was ready to end it all. For like 10 minutes, I cut them trying to get the blood to flow harder. Dude, it's not worth it. Don't end it all. Get help. Get counseling. Something. Don't do it. Don't end it. Guys, it's not worth it. I don't care what the situation is. Then a police car pulls up and two cops get out, and the one of them says, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I calmly tell him I'm done. He radios in for more cops. Before I know it, there are like 15, 20 of them surrounding me. 15 to 20? I think you're obviously a little, because of the emotions, you were seeing some things here, dude. They spent about 20 minutes trying to get me to put the item down. I'm bleeding all over. The cop walks closer to me and asks me to hand him the knife. I stare at the knife for a few seconds, but he hadn't talked to me off the ledge. Nothing at this point could. I also knew I couldn't get out of the situation of being thrown into a psych ward. I raise the knife over my head and lunge at the officer, and before I could even take 2 steps, I'm on the ground getting tasered, and they pile on top of me, putting handcuffs on me. Dude, they saved your life. And you're lucky that they didn't actually off you. Because believe me, if you charged them, it would have been warranted. I made one major miscalculation. I thought if I made a move towards the officer, they would sure off me. But I forgot that I was white. So, unfortunately, I was only tasered. The next thing I know, I'm riding in the back of the cruiser and they take me to the hospital where they sedate me and patch me up. They gave me some sedatives that completely knocked me out. The next thing I know, I wake up and I'm in what I later found out was a psych ward for the criminally insane. It's like jail or prison, but worse. You don't know what time or day it is, and you get no communication with the outside world, or at least we didn't at this one. I'm not going to go into detail about what I experienced there. It was one of the darkest places I've ever seen in my entire life. I was in there for about 6 weeks before an attorney was able to get me out on a technicality. When I was released, I took a taxi home. It was about 3 hours away. When I got home, I had a taxi driver drop me off at a McDonald's near my apartment. I sit down and charge my phone. I didn't want to go back to that apartment, not after what I saw there. I have texts, calls, and voicemails from many people, including Kate. I also obviously was let go from work. My credit cards were all maxed out. There's a surprise. Kate clearly had been using them because she had a card for all my accounts. Oh, you put your name, you have her on your account. Smart move. If you want to talk about a video of all the dumbass things a guy should not do, this is it. All these different things you should never have done, particularly with a girl like this. I called Kate and she was ecstatic to hear from me. She had been so worried and had no idea what happened to me. I told her I would explain everything, but I needed to meet her at the McDonald's and not to bring her son with her. She was confused at first, but she agreed she would meet me and she dropped her son off at daycare. Kate later walks into McDonald's and rushes to try and hug me, but I brush her off and tell her to sit down. Good, dude. Hallelujah. This threw her off a bit, but she sits down and I tell her what happened. Everything I saw before I was thrown into the ward. What she responded with shocked me. Kate had the audacity to try and deny everything. Of course she denied it. None of us here is surprised. She said I must have looked into the wrong apartment and saw someone else. It wasn't me. It was that other girl next door. No, I would never do that to you, sweetheart. I love you so much. I've been so honest up until this point. You got to trust me. I shook my head in disbelief and I cut her off mid-sentence. I told her she needs to tell me the truth right now, and if she tries to lie to me again, I will walk out forever. And she and her son will never see me again. I look at her sternly in the eyes and she could see I meant every word, and I said, I ask her one more time, have you been cheating on me? She looks down at her lap and begins to cry. She mutters, yeah, I have. The guy was driving our car because she was too intoxicated to drive. I stare at her for a minute, and before I let out a big sigh, I pull my phone out of the charger and stand up. She looks up and asks, where are you going? As I pick up my backpack, she asks me if we are living together, or if we are still together. I tell her, no. I didn't mean I was going to stay with you if you told me the truth. I was going to leave either way. I just wanted to hear you admit it before I left. Hallelujah. All this shit, now he finally leaves. How many stories have we done on this channel, guys? And these guys just go through so much pain and turmoil and BS until they finally leave. The thing you can get out of this channel, guys, aside from entertainment, is to hear these stories and not make the mistakes that these guys do if you are indeed relationship types of guys. Now we're going to go into the events after this. For the next few months, I pretty much lived on the road. I was basically homeless. I would hop from town to town, mostly selling rugs at gentlemen clubs and crashing where I could. Sometimes I slept in motels, sometimes I slept outside. I was doing a lot of my own product. I lost almost 65 pounds in these few months because something I would go days without eating or sleeping. Whew. This guy's life is a mess. One day I wake up in a hospital. I've been having seizures and my internal organs have been failing. I was severely malnourished. I'm 6'5" and I was weighing 155 pounds, soaking wet after a big meal. 6'5", 155, that is a skinny beanpole of a dude. Multiple doctors and therapists came to see me every day, trying to figure out what was going on with me. I spent about a month in the hospital recovering before I was discharged. The doctors recommend I seek sobriety program. They conclude that I had no mental disorders other than PTSD and mostly just had a polysubstance addiction problem. When I was discharged from the hospital, I stayed at a halfway house/shelter for almost 4 months. I found a sober program and began going to meetings. I got a new phone and number. Almost no one from my life prior to my stay in the hospital had any contact with me anymore. While I was in the halfway house, I started working out to try and regain some size. I looked like a beanpole. When I was released from the halfway house, I got a job at a nearby gym as a personal trainer. A brand new career path for me, but the gym had become my new safe space where I felt okay. Good. This guy's trying to turn his life around. That's awesome. I don't know how he got a personal. He obviously, maybe he studied to get his personal training certification while he was at that house. I don't know. He didn't mention that because I'm a trainer. I know these things, but okay. Point is, he's been through hell, made a lot of stupid ass mistakes, but he was young. He's trying to turn his life around. Good. We can all turn our lives around, guys, no matter how shitty the situation is, no matter how hopeless it is. But we got to make that choice and take action. Now we're going to have a happy ending. Fast forward 5 years to today. I'm still sober to this day. I'm weighing at a healthy and lean 265 pounds. 6'5", 265, you're a big dude. I'm happily married for 2 years. I run my own lucrative business. Wonderful. I just hope you picked a good one this time. I hope 3 times is a charm here. The day I left the hospital, I thought long and hard about what I was going to do with my life. My instinct was to retreat into darkness. I still wanted to get back at Kate for what she did, just like I did with Lisa in college. After a few long periods of thought over the course of a few weeks, I decided the best revenge would be to live life at its best I could. Yes, success is the best revenge. Living life happy is the best revenge. These people that do you wrong, as much as it feel wonderful to see them essentially suffering at your hand, mark my words, life will get them back for you. But I get the wanting to exact some measure of revenge on them. And most importantly, I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself for the things I went through. This changed the game for me. I stopped blaming others or the world for the things that happened to me. Right. That's the first step. Stop blaming everybody else for your problems. We are responsible for our problems. Circumstances do arise, guys. In life, they do, but you got to deal with them. Not let them wear you down. It's all about accountability. Looking back at this today, 5 years later, and where my life has led me, I'm so happy I made the decision to try a different course of action. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I see some other messed up kid. I turned 30 this weekend. I got sober a month before my birthday 5 years ago. If you had told me back then that I would be where I am now, I would never believe you. I'm so happy I didn't take my own life, or even worse, take Kate's life that day. I'm so glad I decided to get up and keep trying at life. I had to fall a few times, but I finally got up. I flew. Yes, exactly. And you know what? You should track down who those police were because they saved your life. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be alive. You wouldn't have your wife. You wouldn't have your kid. They saved your life, man. I spoke with Kate only once years after I left the McDonald's that day. She admitted to cheating on me. And after speaking with her, I gotta say it's true what they say. The best revenge is living a good life. Translation, he talked to her somehow. I don't know how that happened. And obviously she was more messed up probably than what she was before. There you go. So, all right, guys, there you go. Long story, end of part 2. I thought you would enjoy it. This guy went through hell. A never-ending roller coaster of drama and BS. And as much as, on the one hand, I felt bad for him, on the other hand, I want to slap the shit out of him. But this is an example, guys. You gotta walk away. You gotta pay attention to red flags, and when you see them, get out of there. It's not worth going through this hell. Let alone considering ending your life because of somebody else. It's not worth it. But anyhow, guys, that'd be a good one to go over there. This guy got his life turned around in the end. Thank the Lord. I wish him well. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.